United Chazz, who went off the 2-11 favourite. Commentary this afternoon comes from John Blance.
Gates back and away they go. They're racing for the British Stallion Studs EBF Condition Stakes. Just the 3 runners over the 6 furlongs, and Chazz, the heavy favourite, trying to keep things as simple as possible, has come through to take it up and leads already. 2 in second position, Spirited Breeze there in the blue and pink colours, and Tyriac in the yellow is at the rear of the field as they make their way through the first furlong and a half or so. And it's Chazz, who's of course kept some pretty good company amongst the 3-year-old sprinting division this year, most notably in the Commonwealth Cup at Royal Ascot, leads by a length and a half or so to Spirited Breeze, one of the 2 2-year-olds in the race, along with Tyriac, who's now just rushed up to get a little bit closer to Chazz as they make their way down towards the halfway point in the contest. Chazz the leader to Tyriac, who's travelling quite nicely on the outside in second. Spirited Breeze now being asked to get going a little bit as they make their way past the bushes and head on down to towards the final quarter of a mile. And it's Chazz, who's yet to be headed in the contest. Tyriac, who did just begin to loom alongside, is now being driven along as well. And it's Chazz who leads by a couple of lengths as they go into the dip and head towards the final furlong or so. And it's Chazz just lengthening away now, the very short price favourite, 4 or 5 lengths to the good, and racing up towards the line. This has been little more than a pleasant autumnal stroll for the favourite Chazz, who wins convincingly. Tyriac was second, Spirited Breeze in third.
Chazz wins at 2-11 for Jim Crowley, Richard Hannon and Shadwell Estate. Second was Tyriac at 20-1. Well, this was nothing more than a racecourse gallop for Chazz, who makes light work of his rivals who tried to challenge. The best of them in second was Tyriac, but when Chazz was asked to go away and accelerate, he does so nicely, as he should have done as well. This horse was been competing in much higher graded races than this throughout the course of the season, has been disappointing on his most recent effort, but this was more like it, and Richard Hannon's got something to go to war with as a 4-year-old.
Chazz has won our opening race here at Newmarket, a 3-winner conditions event, pretty much an exercise canter, and he's won it as you would hope he would do. Richard Hannon is his trainer. The significance for you, you're 100th win of the season. Congratulations.
Yes, I just told the press guys here they didn't know.
I didn't know either.
Oh, well, you do know. I'm delighted with him. We've always thought he's a very good horse. I was a little bit disappointed with his comeback run at Ascot. For one reason or another, you know, he just ran no race. We think he's a very good horse, and sitting on horses like him for next year makes it a shorter winter.
Yes, the fact that he's still with you, he's not gone to the sales, suggests that you must think there's still untapped potential.
Yeah, you know, Jim has mentioned a couple of things, temperament-wise. We don't know whether to cut him or not, but, you know, he's done that very well, and that will do his confidence good, and hopefully bring him on, and with big targets next year.
Is he the kind of horse that you might take to Dubai, or would you rather concentrate on domestic targets next year?
Yeah, domestic, yeah.
Yeah. And so what do you see him as?
Well, I've always thought he could be a top-class horse over 6 furlongs, and he might even get 7. He's looked like that on occasions this year, and I'm just hoping next year he'll have grown up, he'll have matured, and he will be that top-class horse that we hope he is. He had quite bad ulcers. He went back to Shadwell. They sorted him out. You know, did a great job, and he's come back, and he's in. You know, he looks a proper horse now.
And you'd be hoping, would you, to start off in some group races in the early part of the season?
Yeah, you come back here for the. Is it the Rouse Day? I can't remember.
Well, there's the Abernant.
The Abernant, yeah, all those sort of early races. He would be the ideal horse for that. You could even go to Doncaster.
For the Camage?
For the Camage Trophy, yeah.
Okay. Well, we look.
He seems to like getting his toe in the ground as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing him next year. Tell me about Immortal Beauty, who you run in the listed race, the Bosworth Sham later.
I think she represents value at 25-1. She didn't stay the chip last time. She's moving very well, and she's tough. Can you see her winning this? Yeah, you've got to say doubtful on the numbers, but we won it last year with a filly we didn't think could win, and she's very tough. This filly, she's grown and done well, and she'll run a race.
And you're thinking 6 furlongs is her trip?
Yeah.
And our next race, you run a newcomer, Yellow Lion. What can you tell me about him?
So he only seems to work well when we work him on soft ground. He did that in like March, April. Then of course we haven't been on any soft ground since then. So I thought we'd get him out while the soft ground is around, and hopefully he'll run well.
Okay. Well, we look forward to watching him. Best of luck for the rest of the day. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.
Next up was Division 1 of the British Stallion Studs EBF Novice Stakes over 7 furlongs. Plenty of newcomers made up this field, but it was Physique with the experience who went off the 7-4 favourite.
Stand by, ready, Gates back and away they go. Very slowly away was Yellow Lion, Sean Levy, a good long way behind the rest of them as the gates went back as they go through the early stages of the British Stallion Studs EBF Novice Stakes. And good early headway made by Florida, who played up a little bit in the preliminaries but is relatively prominent. So too is Physique, as he was on debut at Newbury the other day. Also prominent towards the left in the black and white colours is Macho Sun. In the trenches, the red cap towards the far side, also relatively prominent. Then Majestic Pride, the Godolphin Blue, towards the right as we look at them. Then Glorious Line in the maroon silks is racing around about mid-division, followed by Alpha Crucis in the dark green. There then followed by a Spatra, who's in the lime green colours, followed then by the turquoise of the slow starting Yellow Lion. Towards the rear of the field at the moment is a driven along Puzzle Town. Also towards the back in the yellow and blue colours is Trackman, and right at the rear of the field is Sky Fox, making their way down towards the final 2.5 furlongs. It's Physique, who's been prominent throughout and still leads by a length or so to Majestic Pride, who's driven along. Florida's not going very well, anywhere fast at the moment. In the trenches is trying to stay on with the check sleeves, but it's Physique that's out in front as they come down into the dip with just over a furlong left to go. And it's Physique by a couple of lengths to Majestic Pride, who at the moment is giving vain chase. They're well clear of the rest. Deep inside the final furlong they go. And it was Physique who almost won at Newbury last time. Looks like he's going to seal the deal here, just showing one or two signs of greenness out in front, but goes on to win. Physique beats Majestic Pride. That's the 1-2. Tight for third. Alpha Crucis was staying on. In the trenches, though, may have just held on to the bronze medal with the aforementioned Alpha Crucis in fourth.
Physique justifies favouritism and wins Division 1 of the Novice Stakes at 7-4 for Mohammed Tabti, Paul and Oliver Cole and Mrs. Victory Hay. Second, Majestic Pride at 7-2, and third home, Alpha Crucis at 300-1. Well, this is a nice performance by Physique, who showed like he was definitely capable of winning his novice on his first outing. Still green and raw. When he hits the front, he idles a little bit, but he pulls away nicely in the end from the newcomer Majestic Pride, who showed it plenty on debut, and a big price third place for Alpha Crucis. It's Physique who gets the job done on second attempt.
Physique has won our second race here at Newmarket, trained by Paul and Oliver Cole. Oliver Cole is with me now to see him in the winner's enclosure. Congratulations, it was a promising debut and he's built on it here.
Yeah, he's been quite slow to come to hand, this horse, and obviously he ran last week, ran very well, probably a bit green last week, sort of caught him out, and the idea was to sort of run him back quick because things are running out, options are running out really, and we wanted to get him back on the grass, and where else to do it better than Newmarket.
And he looked fabulous, I thought, in the paddock. He's really holding on to his coat and looking well.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? I think it might just be about to turn, but he's looking good, and he's in great spirits at home. So.
And I assume that's it for his season.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's it, and then we'll go home and make a plan for next year.
Which leads me to my next question. What do you think he is? What trip do you think he'll win next season?
Well, I don't know. He could go up a furlong, couldn't he? I mean, he's staying on the whole time. I suppose we'll have to see in his early work next year to see where we go, really, targets-wise.
What's your sense of where he is in your pecking order at the moment?
Well, clearly we've got a good one. And
Royal Scotsman.
Yeah, Royal Scotsman, and we've got a good filly sim with Sam, the Nathaniel that won here the other day, and I suppose to get a kind of a feel of where they are, he doesn't really work against those two, so it's quite difficult to say. But the work he has done, he's always showed us a lot of ability. I know I'm sort of sitting on the fence there.
Well, I mean, it's understandable. He has only run twice, yeah. and as you say, it's the back end of the season. But is your sense that he could be a pattern performer?
Well, I think he potentially could be, and I think this ground suits him. So, being by the stallion, the ground probably helps him, and potentially could be.
Okay, well, I look forward to him next year. More immediately, you've got Jack Darcy running here tomorrow in the James Seymour. How is he after his very good second in Deauville? Yeah,
he's really well in himself. He ran very well in the Gordon Stakes, and then obviously he ran very well in Deauville. He had to do it the hard way as a sort of sitting duck. So I think the track here will suit. It's a galloping track. I think we'll probably give him a bit of a chance, sit behind the leaders instead of going in front. But we've always thought a lot of him. Half him was bought this year to go to the Melbourne Cup next year, but it's still early days. But he's always really impressed us, and I think this track will suit. And I'd like to think that maybe we can sort of reverse the placings at Deauville here, because we do think a lot of him.
Okay, yeah, you have. You've made no secret of that all season. So you're hoping that, I imagine, that he's going to come on again next season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's he's only run a handful of times, and he's a really big horse, a really scopy horse. So yeah, we've been very patient, and he's come with us, and he's, you know, the lad that looks after him at home told me yesterday he's very fresh in the box. Good. And he's, you know, he seems really well in himself. So we hope Madan's right.
Well, let's hope he is. Best of luck for tomorrow, and congratulations here, Ali.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The 205 was Division 2 of the British Stallion Stars EBF Novice Stakes, run over 7 furlongs, and Bedorgan had experience in the book and went off at 6-5 favourite.
Stand by. Gates back and away they go. Rather slowly away was Greek Giant in the British Stallion Studs EBF Novice Stakes Division 2. Once again over the 7 furlongs. Bodorgan is into a very prominent position early there in the yellow and dark blue colours. Ben Dikduk pulling rather hard into a prominent posse as well. Towards the left as we look at them, the red cap of Miltai. Then the lightish colours of Marcolini, Eye Trap, the yellow sleeves, the white cap relatively prominent as well. They're then followed by Zookster in the light blue and brown colours. One that's towards mid-division at the moment at the sheepskin noseband is Skeptic, one of the fancied newcomers. Towards the right as we look at them, Struck Gold is having a bit of a solo towards the near side. Greek Giant towards the rear of the field, so too Dream Pirate. Also towards the back of the field is a driven along Dedham, and Quizlet hasn't got too many behind it either. Down towards the final 3 furlongs they go. Ben Dikduk has come through the lead to Bodorgan, just being nudged along in second now. Here comes Struck Gold towards the near side, who's travelling strikes quite strongly, as indeed is Skeptic, the sheepskin noseband, who eases towards the head of affairs as well. Down towards the final 2 furlongs they go. Skeptic, Ben Dikduk, Bodorgan is battling on in fairness, then Struck Gold followed by Eye Trap and the rest. Down towards the closing stage as they go, and Bodorgan having a bit of a hit a bit of a flat spot now, goes on by length and a half or so to Ben Dikduk in second. Skeptic's run has come to naught pretty quickly. Miltai is staying on, but deep inside the final furlong they go now, and it's Bodorgan. The further they go, the further this one goes clear. 3 or 4 lengths to the good now, and racing up towards the line, Bodorgan for Charles Hills and Ryan Moore. In the end, the easy winner. Miltai in second, Ben Dikduk was third. Skeptic flattered for a while and finished in 4th.
Bedorgan wins at 6-5 for Ryan Moore, Charlie Hills and Julie Martin and David Martin. Second, Miltai at 22-1, and third was Ben Dikduk at 15-2. Well, it didn't look like it was going to happen for Bedorgan. He was just sort of running a little bit flat-footed, but Ryan Moore got really serious on him, and the penny began to drop, and he pulled away stylishly in the end. 4.5 lengths between himself and the newcomer Miltai. He was the best of a pack filled with quite nicely bred newcomers, and he'll definitely come forward for this run. The 240 was the feature, the listed Bosrasham Filly Stakes. 6 furlongs for the 2-year-olds, and Matilda Picotte just edged favouritism at 100-30.
All present and correct. Gates back and away they go. They're racing for the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Bosrasham Filly Stakes. And a little bit of a difference of opinion as well, with a splinter group towards the near side held by Matilda Picotte, and 1 or 2 others just joining, including Diamond Vega. So interesting early stages of this listed contest. Matilda Picotte, the leader towards the near side. Kit Eye is also prominent, as indeed is Marine Wave. Queen Ollie over on the far side, also their Premier Beauty, and also Aunt Violet. So those 3 towards the centre and far side. The rest all coming down the near side, headed by Matilda Picotte, the Lau the third, followed then by Marine Wave and then Kit Eye, and then after that Immortal Beauty. Diamond Vega being punched along already, Believing towards the rear of the field, as indeed is All the Time, making their way past halfway. Matilda Picotte towards the near side travels quite strongly. She's got 1 or 2 of these at it. Marine Wave in second, now staying on is Believing, getting a good bit closer. Matilda Picotte and Believing, followed then by Marine Wave. These 3, Queen Ollie towards the centre of the track as they come down towards the final furlong. Matilda Picotte still the leader to Believing, who's come through from the rear of the field and is in second, followed then by Marine Wave and Queen Ollie, but it's Matilda Picotte who's finding a bit more as they go inside the final half furlong. Matilda Picotte with the class, and she goes on to take it out nicely. Matilda Picotte wins the Bosrasham. Queen Ollie just got second, of Believing in third. 4th horse home, Marine Wave.
Matilda Picotte wins for Declan McDonough and Kieran Cotton in the colours of Matilda and Kilmichael Racing Partnership. Second, Queen Ollie at 12-1. Third home, Believing at 4-1. Matilda Picotte was brought over from Ireland from Kieran Cotter, who's brought her over before this summer to these shores. She was last seen finishing third in the Lowther Stakes. That set a relatively high standard for this listed contest, and she does really well in these cheap pieces, and she looks like she really relishes the dip here at Newmarket too, coming out of it strongly and winning with her head and her chest here, and all roads now could be a possible tilt at the Guineas next season.
The big race of the day here at Newmarket, the Bosworthshire Listed Stakes, has gone to PICOTTE. He is the trainer, of course, of Matilda. PICOTTE, congratulations. She's been threatening to win a race like this. You must be satisfied with what you saw there.
Yeah, we're thrilled. You know, she hasn't ducked any challenge all year, won her maiden impressively, and then went straight into group company and competed against the best in the few races that she did run in, and competed with aplomb. And you know, we were confident that say coming here today, the same performance would win this, and she turned up with the goods again.
Yes, it was. She brought the best form to the table, didn't she? The third in the lather.
Well, without a doubt she did, and I don't know, some of the scribes seem to think it wasn't up to the scratch, but you know, that's where it matters out there, and she just went and did it again and won nice and comfortably. Declan was always happy throughout the race that he'd take it, so no.
You went back to the cheek pieces that you'd used earlier in the season. What was in your mind?
It probably wasn't fully necessary, but she'd been relaxing more at home, and her homework wouldn't lead you to think that she'd be a group or stakes filly. And initially she was quite keen and showed a lot of pace, and then she just settled a bit more at home. And we thought, God, you know, we just to be sure. As it turned out, it wasn't necessary, and they mightn't be on her again. But you know, we don't care now. She won. So.
She did. She was a bit skittish in the paddock beforehand. Is that typical her? I don't remember her doing it at York. Did she?
I don't think she did it at home. Now, she would do it at home, you know, now and again. It's just when she's really, really well. And I think a filly in front of her might have kicked up, so that was enough to trigger her off, yeah. But, I mean, there's never any doubt with her. She's 100% genuine. And, look, we'll see where we go from here. The lads wanted to come to Newmarket, see how she'd handle the track, and she's done that. And I suppose the dream is, would she stay another 2 furlongs next year? That's what they're saying now.
Interesting, because I look at her and I think sprinter. What do you think?
Yeah, you would think sprinter, but I suppose it's probably more prudent to stretch and see would she see the mile, you know.
It's always the temptation, isn't it, when you've got a very good filly?
Yeah, you can always go back, you know, but we have the whole winter to mull over it now, and you know, to look at her physically, she's not mature, so we're hoping, let's say, over the winter months her body weight comes up and her more conditioner, and she'll be a stronger filly and she'll get further, you know.
How are your 2-year-olds as a bunch?
They're good. We've had what, 2 nice 2-year-old winners. One was sold and we lost him to France, and he won a listed race, and we have a couple others that were placed in maidens, and we run a nice horse again next Wednesday in a maiden and a dog. We wouldn't have a big team, but they've done very well, and we've had actually one of the owners, Einar, in Matilda, has supported us at the sales this year, and we've got a nice team of 2-year-olds for next year, and looking forward to it.
And it's been a difficult season for you. You've had that brush with the IHRB for the cobalt positive and the irregularities in your medicines records. Yeah. How has that impacted on you? What have you done since then?
Well, obviously it was just a bit of general housekeeping when you're overworked. It was nothing major, you know, but you find out a lot about yourself, you know, and as I said, it's in times of tribulations, you know, or in adversity, you find out how strong you are, you know, and we just said we were concentrating on going forward and training winners, and we put that behind us and just concentrating, working hard, and the results have come, and we're here today and it proved it. And
did you feel that amongst you and your team since that point?
Well, we always work very hard, you know, and everybody puts in huge effort. Danny Murphy and all the lads in the yard and that, and it's a team show, and they put their heads to the grindstone and just kept going, worked on. We had some nice horses to go forward with, and we knew if we kept going, the results would come, and they have, and they've shown that, you know, we're a good yard and we're successful, we're good at what we do, and we're here today, our first visit to Newmarket.
Yeah, well, you've taken the feature race. Many congratulations to you and the whole team. Well done, Kieran.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations. I feel like she kind of deserved that after running well all season.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating year for her. She missed a few targets, and that was a good bit of placing today by the lads, and you know, she won nicely.
And did the cheek pieces going back on, did that help at all?
I felt she was very forward going today in the race, and you know, when she heard them coming at her, she gave plenty. They do help her as long as she doesn't overdo it, and she didn't overdo it today, but she has a lot of natural speed.
She was a bit skittish beforehand, but that didn't seem to translate to the race much.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. The horse of George Bowie's in front, unseated James, and she did a little pirouette and I came off easy. So.
Well, best to have the full facts beforehand. Right, okay, so Kieran was talking, maybe could she make up to a Guinness horse? I was thinking he was going to say she's a sprinter. What's your take?
I'd be sitting on the fence a little bit, but I don't know if she'd be getting a mile, 6, 7. Maybe she's a lot of speed. I've always felt from day one she's a lot of speed. There's a good programme for fillies next year, and see how she develops over the winter, you know, physically, but she's very, very fast.
And she's very, very good as well after that listed success.
Yeah, I thought she pulled out plenty today.
I agree.
It's good, yeah.
Well, many congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, and that'll speed your journey home, I would imagine.
Thanks, Lydia.
Cheers,
Thank you.
3:15 was the Newmarket Beacon Thanks Mark Kirby handicap, run over 1 mile 2 furlongs, and the top weight was the favourite. That was Dual Identity at 13-8.
And off they go. They're racing for the Newmarket Beacon Thanks Mark Kirby handicap over the 10 furlongs, the full extent of the Rowley Mile course here. And away well was Outside World, the grey in the grey silvery jacket, leads by about 1.5 lengths or so to O'Herbert's Reign in the early stages. Interesting as well to see where they decide to go, especially given what happened in the previous race. Bad Company, second in this race last year, is ploughing not a lone furrow, but a furrow with turntable towards the near side. It'll all just beginning to gravitate towards the centre of the track. So it's Outside World that leads, to Bad Company in second, Frantank, the white sleeves, in third. Then O'Herbert's Reign, the purple colours, followed then by Turntable. Dual Identity, who ran such a massive race in the Cambridgeshire towards the rear of the field at the moment. So too is Tiger Beetle, and Pièce de Résistance is at the back of the field as they make their way inside the final 3/4 of a mile very shortly. And it's Outside World that's just about the leader, to Bad Company, getting a nice trail into the race, the two-tone blue in second, then Frantank in third. The purple of O'Herbert's Reign racing in fourth, orange cap of Turntable, followed then by Dual Identity, the white cap, then towards the rear of the field, Tiger Beetle just being nudged along, and Pièce de Résistance is right at the back as they head on now down towards the final half mile or so. And the leader is Outside World by 1.5 lengths to Bad Company, just being nudged along now. Frantank is in third, Turntable racing in fourth, the orange cap, Dual Identity is making a bit of headway, now gets a little bit closer to them. Then O'Herbert's Reign, Pièce de Résistance and Tiger Beetle, who's at the rear of the field. Heading on down towards the final 3 furlongs. Outside World just running around a little bit out in front. Bad Company is trying to stay on, does so okay, comes through just about take it up, but now is just veering off a straight line. Turntable is still prominent as well. Dual Identity continues to try and stay on. They're then followed by Outside World and O'Herbert's Reign, but it's Turntable that leads now in the hands of Kaya Fraser, to Bad Company, who's trying to battle back. Then on the far side, Dual Identity continues to stay on inside the final furlong. Turntable to Bad Company, Turntable by a couple of lengths to Bad Company, who's run around eccentrically and can't seem to overhaul Turntable, who out in front in the hands of Kaya Fraser is going to go on and win nicely. To Bad Company in second, Dual Identity was third, O'Herbert's Reign finished in fourth.
Turntable wins at 92 for Kaya Fraser and Chris Wall in the colours of Induna Racing. Second, Bad Company at 6-1. Third, Dual Identity at 13-8. Turntable continues his run of really good form for Chris Wall, the son of Pivotal, whose grand old age of 6 now, really likes it around Newmarket. Was last seen winning here by 2 lengths. He was up a good few pounds in the handicap, but he had the services of young Kaya Fraser taking off a very valuable £7, and he wins again. This pair getting on really well, and it's winner number 10 of the season for the man on board.
Kaya Fraser is celebrating his 10th win of the season on board Turntable for his boss Chris Wall. Many, many congratulations. Talk me through the race, how it panned out for you.
Planned out all right. We all went on a scallop. I got him to settle in behind, and you know he finished off and did it pretty easily. Really happy with that.
And that strong gallop probably helped him a bit, didn't it? Because he can be a bit keen.
It does. The strong gallop just helps him to settle that extra bit more and gives me a lot of help as well. And because they did that today, he was able to settle and finish off his race really well.
And it means that he's sort of shown that he can stay this trip if the race pans out right for him.
Exactly. That's what we've been hoping for this whole year. And the 2 times he's been over a mile and a quarter, it hasn't really went his way. But you know, today went as well, and he won really well.
He seems to be in fine form at the moment.
Yeah, he's happy even at home. He's happy in his work, and he's just doing everything right.
And how about you? 10th win of the season. If I had said to you at the start of the season, come almost November, you'd have 10 winners, what would you have said to me?
I probably wouldn't have believed you. Would have said you're lying.
So this has gone better than expected, has it?
Yeah, it's gone really well. And I'm really happy and really pleased with all the connections, and just hope I get plenty more.
And have you seen yourself improving almost? Have you sort of...
I have, and I try to just keep myself humble and just take every day how it comes to me.
And I know you love it at Chris Wall's yard.
Yeah, he's looked after me ever since I've been there, and he's helped me to come this far where I am today. So I'm very thankful for the boss and everyone else.
And what are you planning to do this winter? Are you sticking around?
I am sticking around, just ride for a few other trainers and get my connection, and hopefully save my £7 claim going into next season.
And what would you like to achieve next season now that you've got a really good opening season under your belt with 10 winners?
Just ride more, have more rides and ride more winners than the previous season.
and hopefully get some impetus up.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, Kai, it was great to talk to you. Many congratulations. Well done,
so
and best of luck for the rest of your career.
Thank you. You too.
The Hamish Kinman 70th birthday handicap came next. 2 miles was the trip, and Novel Legend was the 2-to-1 favourite.
Thanks, Lydia. Good filling. Stand by. They're ready, and they're off and racing for the Hamish Kinman 70th birthday handicap over the 2 miles and sorting themselves out. Pulling quite hard in the early stages is Love Poems. That's one of the early leaders, and All Mankind lit up a little bit. First time on the flat for a long old time is just about the leader. Also prominent there is Military Two-Step. Country Pile, the white sleeves, is also prominent as they make their way through the first couple of furlongs. Then Wilderness, similar colours to All Mankind, but a sheepskin noseband tells them apart. Then Malakahna in the check jacket, followed then out slightly wider by Zicani. Then Mr. Camacho in the purple and yellow colours followed them, just nudged along there for a stride or two, just seemed to be short of room. Then King Francis towards the rear of the field is Flint Hill, another one with a sheepskin noseband on, and right at the back of the field is Love Poems. So they make their way towards the turn into the home straight in the not too distant future, and it's All Mankind, highly rated of course over hurdles and fences, has been keeping top class company in that sphere for a while now. Back on the flat today, leads to Wilderness, who's racing in second. They're then followed in third by the grey Military Two-Step. The red cap of Country Pile is still prominent. They're then followed in fifth spot by Malakahna in the black and yellow check. Then towards the outside, Zicani, who's just going a little bit wide around that turn. Then King Francis in the white and green colours. Still towards the rear of the field, Mr. Camacho in the purple and yellow as they make the swing into the home straight. Flint Hill still towards the back of the field, as indeed is Love Poems. So they're heading towards the final 9 furlongs, and it's All Mankind that still leads them to, in second position, Wilderness. These two being at the head of affairs throughout. Then the red cap of Country Pile, then Malakahna in the check jacket, followed then by the grey Military Two-Step. Then Mr. Camacho in the red headgear getting a little bit closer. Another one getting a little bit closer is King Francis. Towards the rear of the field at the moment, Zicani. Also towards the back is Novel Legend in the white and red colours, that one being towards the rear of the field throughout. Then Love Poems, also towards the back is Flint Hill, as they make their way now down towards the final 6.5 furlongs or so. And it's All Mankind that leads them at the moment, to Wilderness in second. These two have been occupying the front 2 positions throughout. Then Country Pile racing in third. Malakahna just nudged along slightly now in fourth. Then Mr. Camacho. Military Two-Step now towards the right as we look at them. Then after that, King Francis towards the left, the green and red. Novel Legend just being nudged along now behind Mr. Camacho. They're then followed by Zicani towards the right as we look at them, and Love Poems just being ridden along towards the rear of the field. Getting down towards the business end of the contest now, just over 4 furlongs left to go. All Mankind now being enveloped by 1 or 2 of these. Country Pile and Malakahna now going on. Here comes Zicani trying to get involved, and Novel Legend as well from the rear of the field suddenly starts ticking them off. Down towards the closing stage as they come. They're inside the final 2.5 furlongs now, and it's Malakahna that leads them. Malakahna out in front. The Country Pile in second. Novel Legend trying to get going. Zicani is still very much on the scene. And after that, Love Poems, they're clear of the rest. Down towards the closing stage as they come. Malakahna, Novel Legend, Zicani the near side. These three now going on with a furlong and a half left to go. Zicani now just about hits the front to Malakahna. Novel Legend is trying to engage top gear inside the final furlong. They go. Zicani towards the near side. Novel Legend down the centre of the track. Malakahna is battling back as well. Terrific finish. Novel Legend the far side beginning to get him. Zicani battling back. Malakahna spearing through the pair. Malakahna, Novel Legend, Zicani. That's the 1, 2, 3. Fourth horse home, Mr. Camacho.
Malakahna wins at 6-1 for Callum Hutchinson and Ian Williams. Second was Novel Legend at 2-1, and third home Zicani at 13-2. A terrific finish to this 2-mile handicap, and it is the filly in between the boys that battles back, and she gets headed a couple of times, but she does not lie down. She's been very consistent over hurdles, and she adds another victory on the flat now for the Ian Williams team.
Best finish of the day was the 2-mile handicap. It was won by Malakahna. Callum Hutchinson was on board, and she got back up inside the closing stages to win. Good as she's game, isn't she?
Oh gosh, she very is game. She got headed twice in the final half furlong. For her to come back, and that, such a small filly she is, she's as game as they come, isn't she?
She really is. Talk me through what you were thinking then during the key stages of the race.
She's jumped well, and we followed Dan Scouten's horse through, that we knew that would make the running that would have the best chance, we thought. She's travelled so well through the race, and I've kicked 3 out, and she's picked up nicely, and went rab, and Danny came up on the outside. She just stuck her neck out and tried all the way to the line.
Was there any point where you thought, when you had those two challenges, we're cooked here?
To be honest, I did, but she's so small and she's so tough. She just stuck her neck out and did everything for me.
Her win record is so good, isn't it? And that we've seen exactly why that is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's a very multiverse filly, winning the Grade 3 at Cheltenham and winning multiple times on the flat now. There's more to come from her. There's plenty more that Ian can go for.
Very much so. And how do you reflect on your season? Are you pleased with how it's gone?
Yeah, I'm very happy. I've got 2 left on my £5 claim now. I've had a brilliant year, a lot of outside support, and the boss has been a big supporter as well. Obviously, having Royal Ascot winner, 2nd in the Northumberland Plate, 2nd in the Cambridgeshire, it's been an unreal year, and hopefully just long may continue.
And what are your plans for this winter?
I'm sticking around. There's a lot of good lads going away, so there's plenty more opportunities for us here, and just keep kicking, really, roll it on to next year.
Do you have an ambition for next season?
Just to try, I think it would be just to ride out my £3 claim once we get down to it, but just to ride as many winners as possible and just see how it goes.
You're not wanting to rush through it because it's a long-term career you're wanting to build here, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly that. Quite happily keep it for as long as possible and get all the confidence we can get.
Okay, well, it was an excellent ride here today. Many congratulations, Callum. Best of luck for your winter.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
The 425 was a 1 mile 4 furlong handicap, and Old Port with Ryan Moore on board for David Evans went off the 5-1 favourite.
Stand by, all in line. They're off and racing. And through the early stages of the racingtv.com free trial handicap over the 1.5 miles, and Torcello is one of the best away. The sheepskin noseband, the red cap. Primi Ordinis, the yellow cap, is towards the right as we look at them, as they go through the first couple of furlongs or so. They're then followed by Old Port, who's rather wide on the track as they take the turn. Hasifa is also prominent as well as they make their move round the bend. Harrar is racing in a prominent posse. They're then followed by Soldier in Action, first run for 1,515 days. They're then followed by the check jacket, the other check jacket there of Eklil, who's in mid-division at the moment. Downsman is towards the rear of the field. The Horse for Money, Aquam, is towards the back. Noble Masquerade in the white and red colours is also towards the rear of the field as well. So they're making progress down the long straight, and the lead is in possession of Torcello. He's got a very good record in October and leads at the moment to Primi Ordinis, who's racing in second. Harrar is in third. The Stripes of Hasifa is in fourth, followed by Eklil and Old Port. Old Port, the dark blue with the white sleeves. Then Soldier in Action, followed then by the dark jacket of Two Brothers, who gets a first mention towards the rear of the field. Then also towards the back, Noble Masquerade. Lawsman is also, Downsman I should say, is also just towards the back as well. Heading on down towards the final 5 furlongs just over. And the lead is still with Torcello. Torcello spearheading the formation to Primi Ordinis, who's racing in second. The grey now just being nudged along. Hasifa and Harrar both still in decent positions. Old Port nudges a little bit closer. The yellow capit of Aquam, the Horse for Money, gets a little bit nearer as well. Now driven along Noble Masquerade to get a little bit closer. Eklil still travels okay. So too Two Brothers. So plenty of chances, as the market would have suggested here, as they make their way down towards the closing stages. Torcello has set sail for home a long way out. Old Port in second. Aquam racing in third. Followed then in fourth now by Harrar, who's being driven along as they go inside the final 3 furlongs. Torcello out in front to Aquam, the yellow cap, now into second. Followed by Old Port in third. These 3, then Harrar in fourth. Noble Masquerade tries to get a little bit closer as they make their way down towards the closing stages inside the final 2. And Torcello still leads, proving a difficult nut to crack. Harrar down the centre of the track in second. These 2 from Aquam and Old Port. Trying to get going from the back is Downsman as well, but it's Torcello who still leads deep inside the final furlong to Harrar, who's battling hard. Torcello and Harrar as they race up towards the line. It's going to be tight. Torcello, Harrar, Torcello just hangs on. Harrar was second, then Two Brothers finished in third. Old Port for fourth.
Torcello wins at 6-1 for Ross Ryan, Sean Lissett and Dan Gilbert. Second, Harrar at 17-2. Third home, Two Brothers at 7-1. Torcello set sail for home under Ross Ryan with a way to go and was really brave out in front. Harrar came chasing in vain with Safi Osborne on board, but couldn't catch Torcello, this 8-year-old who has had success over hurdles but predominantly does a lot of his best work on the flat, and this is his 9th career success on this code.
A proud Sean Lycett has just seen Torcello battle on to the line and win our previous race. And as you probably know, he's a one-man band. He drove the box down here. He's been leading the horse around. He's going to have to take him to the dope box in a moment. So we've only got a short amount of time to talk to him. Congratulations. What a fantastic performance.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a very quiet year because he loves the soft ground. And I think he's had it twice, which was last time at Doncaster, which he absolutely ran a blinder. And then, you know, it's quite soft out there today. And I said to Rosser, I said, go down the middle, make him take you on the worst ground. You know, follow you into that because he will keep going. And to be fair, I mean, it's brilliant.
And what were you thinking in the closing stages? Because there was a real challenge thrown down.
As usual with me, I'm shouting my head off. So, yeah, you probably heard me. And just Rosser said he heard the other one coming and he stuck out a bit more. So he's such a lovely horse. He's just been amazing for us since we've had him. And, you know, he brings a tear to your eye.
I bet. And what he's just walking around over there, waiting for you. What's your plans with him from now?
Well, there was nothing left for him. So, I mean, the handicapper dropped us, and we ran at Doncaster a few pound wrong. And with him going up and down in those races, we actually ran £3 well in today. So, you know, everything dropped in his favour, but there's nothing left. I mean, he's rated 115 over hurdles, which...
I was just about to ask, might you do that?
We might give him a run, but I always look at it, you know, you got a chance of getting him injured for not so much money as I can come and win these sort of races with him, you know, but it's getting his ground. He loves the soft ground, and that's what makes him, you know.
So we might see at the start and end of next year here instead.
Yeah. I mean, he's 8 now, but he's not getting any worse, is he?
Absolutely not. And how about Stately Home tomorrow?
Yeah, it looks a tough race, but he's in great order. He's ran 2 cracking races at Goodwood on his last couple of runs. So, same with him. What's left? Horses that like soft ground. I mean, he does run well around Kempton, but, you know, it's nice to come in here.
Absolutely, it is. It's lovely.
I brought the 2 down today, so we'll stop tonight and, yeah, have a fresh start tomorrow.
Well, enjoy your evening. Best of luck tomorrow. Many congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The 5 o'clock was the Watch Racing TV free for 31 days handicap, and 1 mile was the trip. My mate Ted just edged favouritism at 100 to 30.
They're ready. And away they go. They're racing in the Watch Racing TV for free for 31 days handicap over the mile. Canoodle slowly away, so too Le Reveur. Professional Widow towards the far side got away well. Atlantis Blue in the green sleeves also prominent, so too Darvell. Newton Jack in the blue and red colours. Another one in blue and red colours is towards the head of affairs as well, but towards the centre of the field. Then Hope for the Best. Give it some Teddy in the white and black colours, not too far away in mid-division at the moment. 4 Shades of Silver is in mid-div as well. Also prominent Alternative Fact towards the near side as they make their way through the first couple of furlongs. Professional Widow and the Rain King over towards the far side. Looks like their Hope for the Best has also gravitated over there as they make their way through the early stages of the contest. Also towards the far side is My Mate Ted. 1 or 2 that have gone near side now just gravitating back to the centre of the track with Atlantis Blur. And then Newton Jack travelling very strongly at the moment is Give It Some Teddy. Then after that, 4 Shades of Silver, who's getting a little bit closer towards the near side. Alternative Fact now gets nearer too. Silver Screen is on the scene too, and Canoodle's getting into this as well, the blue and yellow colours. But it's Atlantis Blue that leads in the final 2.5 furlongs to Newton Jack, who's racing in second. These 2 followed then in third spot by Alternative Fact and Canoodle, who's getting going with the rail to help. Then over on the far side, Give It Some Teddy, and then 4 Shades of Silver. Closing stages, Canoodle does now come through to take it up to Atlantis Blur, who's now tired in second. Alternative Fact trying to stay on, then Give It Some Teddy as well. But as they go inside the closing stages, Canoodle, who was put to sleep towards the rear of the field, is now charging home, and it's Canoodle by 3 or 4 lengths in the closing stages, up towards the line to score. Canoodle beats Atlantis Blue. Give It Some Teddy finished in third, then Alternative Fact was fourth.
Canoodled wins at 6 to 1 for Safi Osborne, Ed Walker and owner Lawrence Bellman. Second, Atlantis Blue at 8 to 1. Third, Give It Some Teddy at 11 to 1. And fourth home, Alternative Fact at 7 to 2. Canoodled is given a fine ride by Safi Osborne, who gets her 27th win of the year, which matches last year's record, and she still has plenty of rides left to go. And this is a fine performance by this filly, Canoodled, who draws clear and wins for the first time since winning at this track last year. Winners at Newmarket this afternoon, and the first four were all winning favourites, beginning with Eraz in what was just a customary piece of exercise in a 3-runner race, but he looks like he's back to his best. But the standout performance came from MATILDA PICOTTE for Kieran Cotter over from Ireland again. She wins after her good third in the Lowther Stakes last time, and she looks like she has a nice future ahead of her as a 3-year-old. And the standout performance of the day reflected that on the clock as well. MATILDA PICOTTE put up a performance in 1 minute 12.03 seconds, 1.53 seconds above the standard and 0.26 above the standard furlong per furlong.